It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer, and it's time to open door number 7. Yeah, I think it's 7 on the Virgin Wines Beer Advent Calendar. This was sent, of course, by Virgin Wines. I did one a couple of years ago from them. Good beer, really, really good beer. Well, so far anyway. The last box 2 years ago was good. This box, the first 6 beers have been really, really good. So, beer door number 7 up here. Ooh, now then. Oh, this is going to be a really interesting beer. Really interesting. It's a can of Beavertown Gamma Ray. Now, quick story on this before I open it. Beavertown, of course, are now owned by Heineken. Heineken bought them out a good few years ago now. Let's get it out first and I will tell the story. 5.4% ABV. You've still got that branding on the can, which I really like. I like the fact that they've stayed true, Heineken, with this branding. It's really quite lovely. I've always liked the Beavertown stuff. They're based in the Tottenham area of London. In fact, the Beavertown beer is served at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Beer in the glass there. So what I'm interested in here is, now I've not had a can of Beavertown Gamma Ray, not since Heineken bought out Beavertown. It just kind of filled me with utter disappointment, and I've not had a can of it, but what happened was 2-finger white head, good levels of carbonation, amber coloured beer in the glass, a little bit of haze in there. What happened was, I went to a beer festival in Cardiff, met some guys from Somerset. I took them to the Cambrian Tap, which is a really nice tap house in Cardiff, and we seen Gamma Ray on the board, and Heineken had only bought them, like, it was within a year. And we were all like, oh, they got Gamma Ray, we'll have a round of Gamma Rays. Ordered a round of Gamma Rays. We all sat outside on the St Mary Street High Street there having a drink, and it was awful. It was awful. It was like undrinkable. We couldn't believe how bad it had changed in the space of within a year. This is going back about 7 years ago now. Hello Mark, if you're watching, and your brother, of course. So yeah, I completely kind of like walked away, not tried a can of Beavertown Gamma Ray, not bought it, not tried it, not wanted to try it since the takeover from Heineken. So let's kind of get into it then. Orange, tangerine, bit of sweetness, a bit of sweetness, not bitter sweetness, a bit of sweetness. Quite piney, but there's something in there that makes me draw my nose back to it to try and work out what it is. I'm not sure if it's Brewing syrups, which are kind of concentrated sugars, glucose if you like. We'll get in. Cheers everybody. it's just really, it's just a damn shame. It's just a damn shame. I'll cover the beer first. I'll get this bit out of the way quite quickly. It's poor. This is a poor example of, what are they calling it, an IPA? American Pale Ale, 5.4% ABV. It's really poor. It almost like there's astringent taste in it. I just want to come out and be really lazy and say it just tastes of chemicals. That's what I want to say, but I can't just say that to you guys. I have to break it down. I have to break down. Of course, it's what I do, isn't it? It's what you're here for. I have to break down what's wrong. So I think it's carbonated to begin with, which is fine. It's not overly carbonated. It's quite well carbonated actually. And then it just has this, like, they've used hop concentrates. Like they've used all sorts of like hop oils and hop. I've worked in a brewery where they thought their IPA wasn't hoppy enough, so they just poured this oil, concentrated oil, into an open barrel, put the bung back in the barrel and span it around the brewery a little bit, and then went, here we go, send that off. They wanted it hoppier. And it's not the way to brew beer. It isn't the way to brew beer. And I just got a sense that because I've been behind the scenes, because I've worked at breweries, I know what goes on. And I wish I didn't. I wish I didn't work in breweries, because I know I can taste it. I can taste this. Because of course we tasted the beer before it went out to the customer, this barrel, and it was like, oh my goodness me, okay, they wanted bitterness, but this is just like bitterness for the sake of bitterness. It's just astringent. It's just, there's no real separation of flavour. I can't really tell you about grapefruit and orange peel and fleshy blood orange. It's just a kind of like a citrusy concentrate that has some bitterness on the back end, and it all makes the beer feel very chemical like. It makes it feel kind of wrong, if you like, and it shouldn't be like that. And I can say that, and it's such a shame, the reason why Heineken paid £40 million for Beavertown was because they were ripping up trees. Beavertown started life under is it Metallica or whatever? Logan Plant started it, the son of a band member. He was famous. It'll come to me in a moment. But anyway, he was the son of he started his own band, tried to do what his father did, didn't do it, couldn't do it, which is fair enough. So he opened a brewery instead. The brewery did fantastically well. It was probably in the top 3 breweries in the UK in the mid 2015, something like that. Caught the attention of Heineken. Heineken come along, spent £40 million on it. If you tasted Gamma Ray how it was to Gamma Ray how it is now, it's just a completely different beer. Gamma Ray used to be terrific, absolutely wonderful beer, as did Neck Oil, as did some of their Imperial Stouts, some of their double IPAs. They were just doing amazing things. They used to launch their beers on Instagram or say that their beers have been released, and they used to sell out in an hour. Beavertown Brewery could sell out with their beer in an hour. It was that quick. It was done and dusted. It was that good. Fast forward 2024, 9 years later? It's poor. It's really, really poor. And it's typical Heineken, really, isn't it? It's typical Heineken. They buy a brewery, they kind of like stick their fingers into it, and they pull out its insides, and they sell the brewery buildings, and they turn them into flats and towns have lost lots of work and jobs, and they've lost their brewery, and they just then brew the beer in a massive factory somewhere that is something like what it used to be. I still believe the Beavertown Brewery is still open, by the way. It's just that the beer, for me, this is not a patch on original Gamma Ray. So rating on the beer, it looks okay. It doesn't smell great. It's got an overwhelming sweetness there. Sweet, astringent bitterness, weird type of citrusy flavour that you can't tell if it's orange peel or grapefruit, or it's just a citrus flavour. Really poor, really poor. Considering what this beer was to what it is today, I'm going to say 3 out of 10. 3 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. I won't be drinking that. It'll give me a right old headache. Thanks for watching. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.